Yeah, good evening everyone. I just want to show you today how to configure router and switch router slash switch initial configuration commands. So the first commands that we're going to use the router and switch at the same time is, this is a switch, this is a router. So let us start with the router. So the first command the router is this that you ever see in a router or a switch is this mode. It's called like user mode. So user mode, if you give space and give a question mark, you start from here all the way you have a very small number. You see, very small number of commands that you can use that you can use up to here. So they are very limited. Basically you cannot do anything. But if you go to enable mode, which is called like a privileged mode, you have more options. If you give space and give a question mark, from here you have a lot of commands that you can use it. So user mode, which is this one, has a list of commands that you can use to show or to do anything, but you cannot configure anything. And this one is called live. So always the way you remember is if you see this sign is a user mode, but if you see this sign is a privileged mode. So this one is the least command list that it has to use, and this one is the second one, which is a privileged mode. The third one is called like configure terminal. So if you go configure terminal, you have here config, which means if you give space and give a question mark, you have everything that you can configure in the router. So this is the only place that you can configure in a Cisco router or a switch. So switch and the router, they have this initial configuration is the same. So we already covered this bit now we covered this. So there is another one. If you want to go on the, let me test the switch as well. So switch, you see we have a user mode by default. If I go to enable mode, you have the privileged mode. If I go to configure terminal, you have the configuration terminal. That just like they share the same commands with routers when it comes to initial configuration mode. Okay, now if I go to line console, and then line console is always 0, because when you say, if you say line console and then if you type line console and then you give a question mark, it gives you whatever it has in here. So it's only 10. If you click enter, it means you are in a console line configuration. You see the command has changed to config-line, which means this is the line, this is the console line. Like this is for example, now I'm using a console line here. So when you go console line, is you will control, when you are in the console line, you control basically the authentication, and authorization, what the user can do it, and if he's allowed to use it. So you see all these command lists that you can use under the in a console line. Router is the same as well. If you say line console and then 0, if you see give question mark, it's still 0 here, you can see it. So if you see give 0, then if I space and question mark, you see a lot of similar to the switch, almost is similar to the switch, but it's different because router uses like the router software, and the switch uses what they call hardware switch software, or yeah. So the two softwares are different. Okay, if I say here log in, I'm still in the console, in the console line. So if I say log in now, it will ask me, it will tell me like I don't have a password, I didn't specify the password. You see, login disable it because until the password is set. So here is where we can set password. So password is 2. So now if I say like password and the question mark, it's just like you know, I have to it is a clear text. The password that I do here is a clear text. But if I do secret, which is the same password but it's a secret password, it's a secret. Okay, it should supposed to switch that. Okay, let me use the router. So okay, let me give one space, and then oh yeah, we have to write password secret, I believe. So password and the secret. No, so we have to enable one. I think let me specify in here, enable secret. I myself forgot it, but the thing is that configure terminal and okay, line console 0. Then what do we have in here? Okay, we have a password here, but we don't have a secret. So yeah, I don't think you have to go back again and say enable secret. I think it should be from here. Yeah, enable secret. So enable secret means you will put a password and that password will not be shown. But if you say enable password, and then you put your password will be clear text. That's a difference. Okay, let us keep on going on that. Okay, now let me go back to the line console. So line console only supports enable password. So if you say enable password, sorry, it says a password, and then we write Cisco, because we said line console is where I'm using now. This interface is called like a line console. So we have two, console and the telnet. So this one is a line console. Okay, so this is the interface I'm using, line console. So I said password is Cisco, and then I will say log in. Then if I go back and say exit, now the console, you see it needs a password. So I have to put Cisco. It will not show here, but I type it in Cisco. So now if we go back again, another one, and we say okay, line. So that is a line console and how to protect it. So if you say a line VTY, that is what they call like a telnet. So line VTY 0 to for example 5, like 5 lines, and then I say password Cisco same, and then I will say login. Then if I go let me go back and give this guy interface loopback. Let me give loopback 0, and then let me get interface mode. Okay, say IP address 1.1.1.1, and then 255.255.255.0. I will come to this command, but I just need to come in as a telnet, because telnet is coming remotely. So if I still say, now I'm outside, so if I go, this is a console, and if I say telnet now, and then because telnet is coming, like for example, you are coming from remote. So if I say telnet just on this router, then .1.1.1, it will ask me a password now. You see, so this is the password that we set it up, line VTY, and the password we set it up is the one we meet here. It's the one we are meeting here. So now I have to type in Cisco, which you don't see it, and then I'm here, and then when I say enable, it will ask me the password for the console now. So this password, because I'm coming from remotely, it is a telnet, so it asking me the telnet password. I did it, and then it is asking me, it gives it put me to user mode, and then it is asking me the user the console password. So I have to type Cisco again, and now I am in. So that's, I think it is enough to understand the basics. And also, if I go to terminal, if we leave like a console, line console and line VTY now, if we go to the interface configuration mode, so if you want to get out all to the end, you just write end, and then you come all the way to the end. So now if I say show IP interface brief, which is a good command to know like how many interfaces that you have. We have this loopback, we just set it up and we came in as a telnet, but we have these interfaces as well. But what I want to know, what is this interface? This interface connected to, if I want to know from here, I will just say show IP interface status, and then I will know show interface status. So when I say show interface status, it will tell me the router, the interface that connected to the switch. So now for this one, show interface status, show interface, it should show us show interface. Okay, status, show interface. Okay, the command I'm looking for. Show status. Okay, show IP interface status. No, I don't think so. Oh shit, there is a command that I forgot it. Show interface status. Yeah, then it doesn't show me, but let me go to the switch. Show interface status. Yeah, you see, so the router is not giving me, the switch is giving me, but the switch is telling me gigabyte 0 is connected, so something is connected. Why, I don't know why the router doesn't support it. So now, or if I say to know to the router, if I say show, for example, show show IP interface brief. It just tells me that it is it's connected, but yeah, and the reason is that because it is still down. The port is down because I have not configured, so it's a port 10. So now the other thing that we want to know is okay, what do I need? Let me go back to here. We set the password hosting name. So when you want to do host name, you come to the global config and then you make a name, for example like router, for example router 1. So now I'm changing like R1, I do router 1. So before it was R1, now it is a router 1. So that's the host name. Okay, so the interface port number. So if you wanna configure an interface, for example this interface, if you wanna configure an IP address, what we're gonna do is that, let me just pick up this, yeah, we'll say like interface. So the interface now is gigabyte 1/0. There's a no shutdown, and then I will give an IP address which is 10, for example 10.10, and then 255 and 255.0. So now if I go do show IP interface brief, which is show me what is what is in this interface, it is showing me up and up. So if I go all the way back and say show interface status, I don't think the router supports this command. It doesn't support this command, but the switch does. So if I say show interface status, the switch supports, so it's connected. So I can make it short. It's a show interface status, and then I give a byte. So my phone, my laptop doesn't give me that my keyboard doesn't have that byte, so I would use that byte, but it doesn't have my keyboard. So yeah, they share the similar. So we cover the host name as well. We cover the end because it exits all the way out. So end is the same as, for example, now if I say exit, that means like I will take one step back at a time. So now if I go exit, then I am here, and then if I still go exit, then I will become to my privilege mode, which is here. You get me? So it's like exit is one step back, end is always to the end. Okay, now if I now if I say show running config, that means like this command, show running config, it shows you what is in the running config. So you see it is building, and then it show you whatever you configured. The router is the same, show running config. So you have to, it shows you the interfaces that we configured and everything. If you say like a copy startup running config, that means like it is replacing the old config into the new from the startup config to the running config. So this configuration that you have, it will change it to the this one will replace the old one. Basically, that's what it says. It says it saves the active means that this running config replacing the startup config used when the switch started, like when the router or switch started. So erase, if you this is a virtual thing. So if I say erase, then it will erase startup config. That's how you erase all your configuration if you want. So if I say erase, then this this device is a virtual device, so it will get stuck. So I kind of do that now. And then when you want to do it reloading, when you erase, you have to do reload, so it have to take out all the all the erased config. And here, yeah, this is reload config. Debug is just something advanced, so you have to do it like when you do it when you become like when you are testing some configuration, some pinging, or like some issues, either layer 2 or either layer 3, which is like a router and a switch. So basically this is the router configuration that we have done, or the switch, they share the similar. So I hope it has been really beneficial for you, and I would like to thank you. Have a great night.